Hey, everybody, welcome back to another exciting update from SuperOps here on All Things MSP. If you don't know, SuperOps is one of our premier sponsors here at All Things MSP. And actually, they were one of our very first sponsors here at All Things MSP. So we're extremely grateful for the content and everything that they're providing for the community. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But I don't want to steal Nancy's thunder. So, Nancy, if you'll go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do at SuperOps, and then I've got some questions for you.
Awesome. I love it. Thanks for having me, first of all, Eric. I appreciate it. And I am Nancy Henriquez. I am the head of US community for SuperOps. And like most people say, my job involves just having fun with all our partners and everyone in the community. So, love my job.
Very important job in this industry specifically because it's so relationship and community based, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And it's the perfect role for me. And that's what I keep hearing from everyone that I talk about or talk to in the community as well. So I am loving it.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to see all the things that you do over at SuperOps. And one of those things is what are called Super Summits. Now, you guys had some kind of towards the end of last year, but you're ramping up and getting ready to do some for this year. So, first of all, what are they? And kind of why are they different?
Cool. I love that question. So Super Summits, like you said, we started off some last year. And so what we decided at Super Ops was, not only does the MSP community want to get together and have some fun and have some unique experiences, but also come together and learn. So that's essentially what the Super Summits are, is peers coming together along with MSP influencers, MSP educators, and other community members to just learn how to grow their business and become more profitable.
Awesome. And I know that that's what people are looking for when they go to an event like this, because specifically, one of the things that they're not looking for is product pitches. So, are they going to get product pitches at these?
So I didn't answer one of your questions before because that's what makes this different, right? So we have put our ear to the ground and we're trying to listen to what the MSP community is wanting, not and needing. So not just in terms of what they want and need, but what they don't want and don't need either. And so I, as a previous MSP owner, also agree with the I don't need to be sold to every time I'm trying to learn something. So there is absolutely no product pitches whatsoever. There's no pitches whatsoever in this event, not from any of the influencers, educators, or anyone that attends or anything of the sort. It's very strict policy of no pitches, just learning and fun.
Gotcha. So, can you dive a little bit deeper then into some of the topics and maybe some of the speakers that are going to be at the upcoming Super Summits?
Yeah, absolutely. So the topics that we are diving into, like I was saying, it's all about learning how to grow your MSP and the profitability of the MSP, right? So a lot of the times we aren't looking at the actual profitability or the mechanics of being able to get the profitability, right? So we concentrate on top level revenue a lot of the times. And so what this event is basically diving into those aspects. How do you get your MSP to operate more efficiently? Beyond best practices, beyond the day to day, what are the actual things that you need to look at and start to do in order to be a more efficient MSP? Um, that's one. And then beyond that, we're then following that to how does efficiency lead to more profitability? What are the metrics that you're going to be needing to look at in order to maintain that as your business grows? And then, of course, we're diving into sales strategies and marketing tips, as well as the financial aspect of um, running your MSP. So those are just some of the high level topics that we're getting into, and it's trust me, it is very educational, and a lot of aha moments is what we are going for. So we saw that at the events at the end of last year, and so we're hoping to just do that over and over again.
Yeah, and there is this evolution of you've got to have the sales and marketing because you've got to raise revenue, right?
Correct.
But once you've raised revenue, you have to look at operations and you have to look at, are your operations helping or are they hurting your profit margins?
Yep.
And there's so many things that the MSP can do can to, enhance their efficiency and drive those operational improvements to make sure that they're getting all of the profit out of it that they can.
Absolutely. And that changes across the stage of business that the MSP is in. So those are some of the things that we're also going to be tackling is addressing at what point of operational maturity do you need to shift, make some shifts in your processes or in your systems in order to gain more efficiency throughout. So with each stage of growth, those those mechanics change. And so those are things that we want to make sure that everyone is aware of how to get there. Because a lot of the times what we get told is we're on the business, not in the business, but nobody says what about the business are we
Yeah.
supposed to be working on? What are the
Yep.
things that we're supposed to be focusing on? And so we're getting into the nitty gritty of what are those actual things that you have to be looking at in order to grow your business.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I actually have a framework for helping to identify based on customer experience how to look for those opportunities across the entire customer journey of where you can add not only those operational efficiencies but other types of improvements as well. Okay, so very interesting stuff. So, who is this specifically designed for? I know MSPs in general, but is it an MSPs at a certain stage of growth or a certain place in the maturity model? What is it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, what we're focusing on is how to get to the next level, right? So, this is for MSPs that are in those growth stages. So anyone that is trying to get from, let's say, the emerging stage where you're starting off, but you don't know exactly how to get to the next level. So those are some of the MSPs that this is for, as well as those that are on that next phase of business where the operational maturity is a little bit higher in that level, but again, you're just not sure how to get to that next stage. So you're, let's say, in the one, you don't know how to get to the 3 million from the 1 million marker. So those are the aspects that we're trying to look at and say, how do you get there?
Awesome. Because that's really important, right? It depends on where they're at. They have to know where they're
Exactly.
at to know where they're going to or how to start to get to going where they're going. It's so
Exactly.
important in any type of improvement process. So, for these MSPs that show up to Super Summits, what are they actually going to walk away with?
So not only a great time and great memories, because
Of
part of
course.
that we throw in surprises. So you just never know what surprise you're going to walk into at a Super Summit, which is the fun part. But also everything that is presented, all of the slides, the slide decks, everything is something that you will get to keep at the end of the day. There's going to be worksheets. So this is also an interactive event. And so those are all things that you're going to get to walk away with. And then as well as anything, additional resources going forward as part of being within the super ops community. So we have a ton of resources within our super ops community, and so we give you access to that as well.
Okay. And that's a really good point because I think people, I don't know how many people know yet that you guys have really focused on building community. And so spend a minute or so just talking about what you guys have built in terms of that community.
Yeah, so we really what we looked at was MSPs, one, we've got to meet them where they are. So that's part of being involved in the community itself. The other aspect of it is that what we want is to also educate, not just during our super summits, but ongoing. We want to be a place of resources and a place of connection for MSPs. And so that's something that we are incorporating into our community. We'll be doing mentorship programs for MSPs. We're going to have mentorship calls and office hours where we'll have experts that will talk or dive deep into certain subjects that normally we see at a very surface level. And so we're again just trying to bring the community in and educate and support in more ways than one, including having some mental health days and or mental health topics as well, so that we're also addressing the human needs. Because at the end of the day, even though we all work in technology and computers, we're all humans.
Yep. I've done that as well. I've focused some of the podcast episodes and things on mental health because it is really important, especially because sometimes we are thrown into stressful crisis type situations that can significantly raise the stress levels. So great stuff coming out of the community there. Really appreciate that. If they want to find out more about the upcoming Super Summits, where do they go?
Yeah, great question. So you can go to, we can post the registration links for that as well. And then you can also find out more at superops.com and under the events. And you can also reach out to me.
Awesome. And how do they get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me in multiple of ways. So LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and everywhere that MSPs are at, I'm there. But
Awesome.
you can also email me and yeah, I'll throw my number in the chat too if we need to.
All right. Sounds great. Nancy, really appreciate you coming on and giving us this update on Super Summits as well as the community because a lot of great stuff happening there. Look forward to hopefully being at a Super Summit sometime this year. And, if my schedule will ever permit it, so busy doing this kind of stuff right now. But, this is what it means to be part of this community and,
No
and inform
excuses.
people.
No excuses, Eric. You got to be there.
I'm working on it. All right. So, any last words? Anything that we haven't covered that they should know?
Yeah, so our first Super Summit of the year is coming up really quickly, March 1st in New Orleans. Um, Juan, our channel chief, keeps talking about the amazing surprise that is in store for everybody there. I don't even know what it is, so I'm excited. Um, so if you want to find out what it is, you got to be there. So make sure to register for that. And then the second one is coming up May 31st in Tampa. So that one should also be lots of fun.
Awesome. So, guys, reach out to Nancy. Go look at the events page on the SuperOps homepage. And if, by the way, use our link if you can. It's https atmsp.link/superops. And that way, we just know how much of this community is being driven to their community because we're just trying to keep it going here and keep everybody involved and make sure that we are acting like a true community.
Hey, that's what we keep talking about ecosystems. That's what it's all
Yep,
about.
exactly. All right. Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks, Eric.